you're either a fan or you're not. You're either a supporter of your university or you're not. I was just in Chicago as a fan going to the Florida State Notre Dame game, knowing that what happened was about to happen, right? And people will say, man, how can you go to that? How can you continue to go to these games? Because I'm a Nole. What, am I going to not root for Florida State? Am I only going to go to games when they're good? Am I only going to go in the years in which the Bucs make the playoffs or win the division? Am I only going to root for them and watch them when they're really good? Or am I always going to root for them? I'm a Pirates fan. Sweet Jesus. I'm used to losses mounting annually. But I'm a Pirates fan. What am I going to not be? I'm going to continue to support. I may never. I was 8 years old when they won the World Series. I may die without ever seeing them win another one. Distinct possibility. I'll be a fan for however many years I have left of that team. You don't get to pick and choose if you're real as a fan or a supporter. You've got to be that thing. Once you've made that decision, for whatever the reason that you came to that decision, you have to be loyal to that. These are the moments that make the great moments effing awesome. When you win, when I sat next to you in the national championship game in 2013 in Pasadena, I felt awesome, just like all the rest of the Noles did at the comeback and the win. But honestly, I wanted to cry because I could see your face. You were part of a lost decade. And I got to see you live that joy. I'd already done it twice. So I got to see you live it. That's the reason we love sports. That's what it's about. You don't get to just decide, well, team's not very good. F them. I'm not going to support them or watch them anymore. What's wrong with you? Why do you even bother? What's the point of being a fan at that point?
The lost decade at the time was the pits of modern existence for Florida State football. Now it got worse. The pit went deeper. And this year it's being defined just how deep it goes. Like modern technology lets us know how deep the seas go. And in that moment, when we had close games with UAB and we had a close shave with Troy that my buddy and I could not go to, so we paid for the Sunshine Network pay-per-view on Comcast, which was, I think, $24.95. Not cheap back in the day, $24.95 for a singular game. We had it on the radio, but we had obligations for school and whatever. So we just had it on the radio, and we bought it just in time to see Buster Davis intercept a pass for us to, escape in that situation. Jacksonville State in the rain, Ryan Perrilloux. I was there for that game. Oh,
buddy.
I was there twice.
I was sitting next to my buddy, Eric Vondage, and we were like, this is really happening.
I went in. We were second, third row behind the visiting bench because that's where my buddy's family season tickets were for decades. We went in to start. It got so heavy that we were getting into trench foot territory. So we went back, dried up, and then had a beer. So we dried up, and then we had a beer. And then we went back for the fourth quarter of the game. Like all of those things, you're right. These are the memories I have as Kermit Whitfield is breaking across the 30 and the 40 in midfield. And I'm thinking about those moments because, wow, it takes your breath away that you've ascended from that level of a valley to the top. Now, then Trey Mason scores, and you think, dear God, this is Georgia Tech on the road all over again. This is Ty Jones clips Christian Ponder inside the 5-yard line at NC State. This is 5 turnovers against Florida, where 4 would have been fine. And 20 minutes of possession time for Florida in the first half of that 2012 game. No problem.
Yeah.
Held it together.
Yeah.
20 out of 30 minutes of possession and 4 turnovers, you're still going to win the football game. But that fifth one, that was a killer. And I'm thinking about the red-eye to Philly to get back to Atlanta. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is the ultimate lost Decadian loss. And then it wasn't because we won. Yeah, man. All of those things are awesome. The one complicating factor to modern day college athletics that is different than being a Buccaneers fan or a Pirate or a Met or a Tampa Bay Lightning fan is that they're asking you for more than just the price of a ticket. That is where it does get complicated.
No, I'm not saying that the way you react to this as far as your vitriol or pulling of funds temporarily or whatever it might be.
Right.
isn't a more nuanced discussion.
That's where it gets tougher.
It is. Yeah. There's a difference between saying I'm not going to stroke a check for $10,000 this year the way I did last because you guys seem to be mismanaging my money, and turning your back on the program entirely. You're not putting on your Florida State gear because they're 1-9. You're not going to go to games. You're not going to support. That's totally different. So I will agree that there is a nuanced and a non-black and white discussion about fandom, just when it comes to the money that you're talking about spending on said program.
Right. So that would be where I would just say, define support. Is it sporting your gear? Is it watching on television? Is it, because you live in Miami, going to 1 game a year instead of 3? That is where it does become a little bit more difficult.
I don't have a problem with somebody who lives, 400 miles, 500 miles away. God forbid, several states away. You get fans that are in California and New York and, in Dallas and all different places where they go, it's not all that easy. Yeah, I get it. You're not flocking to Tallahassee to watch a 1-9 team play. Got it. You're also not denying your support as a Nole. You're not like at that point walking into the office. Oh, I don't know of this Florida State that you speak of. Oh, I think you got it wrong, Ted. I don't know why you think I'm a Nole.
I'm done with them. Right. That kind of
nonsense.
I can remember I'm finding the exact year, 1997, 1998. A little more than a half a decade from the time that our hockey team would be winning and hoisting the Stanley Cup. They won 17 games out of 82. In hockey, that's really hard.
It's very hard to do, yeah.
In basketball, you can see it all the time.
Yeah.
In hockey, it's very hard. You win 17 out of 82 games. 65 times you're coming away with a loss out of 82.
Imagine being the White Sox this year.
Yes. Ooh. I know a fan.
121 losses?
I know a few White Sox fans
too.
that happen to be Noles. This has been a very tough April to November stretch in their sporting lives.
Yeah, and those will be, those will be etched in memory forever, and they will be brought up when they win the World Series or the Noles win another national championship.
Yep.
Those are the moments you'll reflect upon, and you'll go, oh, okay, all right. Whence we came, there it is. And you'll appreciate it even more. That's the way you got to look at it. And it definitely sucks when you're going through it. Because the days drag on. They just drag on. I'm living this same effing nightmare I was yesterday. They still suck today, just like they did last week.